हेलो टीचर्स, ट्रिक्स चैनल में आप सभी का स्वागत है। सबसे पहले हमारे इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, अपने मित्रों को भी शेयर करें ताकि वह भी हमारे इस चैनल एवं वीडियो से लाभ उठा सके। सब्सक्राइब करने के बाद बेल आइकन को क्लिक करना ना भूलें ताकि हमारे इस चैनल के नए नए अपडेट्स आपको हमेशा मिलता रहे। दोस्तों, मैं आज इस वीडियो में NIS के कोर्स 505 असाइनमेंट 3 के प्रथम प्रश्न के बारे में बताने जा रहा हूँ। आइए देखें प्रश्न क्या है। असाइनमेंट 3 का फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाई देयर इज अ नीड ऑफ कंटिन्यूअस एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इवैल्यूएशन इन EVS टीचिंग लर्निंग एज ए प्राइमरी टीचर, हाउ कंटिन्यूअस एंड कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इवैल्यूएशन हेल्प्स यू इन टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस ऑफ EVS। आंसर देखिए, लर्निंग इज अ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस, सो शुड बी द assessment of learning. Assessment helps the teacher diagnose gaps and difficulties in learning. If these are addressed as soon as they are noticed, the flow of learning can continue, making the learning process efficient and effective. Classroom assessment should be geared for accomplished this job for every pupil. Thus, good assessment process should be continuous. EVS learning therefore follows the holistic approach of learning. Teaching learning of EVS is about encouraging analytical skill, critical thinking abilities among children. It is also a process to support positive attitude and clarify values. The process aims to develop a child into a citizen who is compassionate and sensitive towards diversity in environment, natural as well social. Assessment of learning in EVS therefore demands that the assessment process is comprehensive. Assessment should be carried out by self, peers, teacher, parents, or occasionally by other school staff. This helps to create a holistic picture of the child's development. The learner need to use head, hands, and heart to attain the EVS objective. Thus, the teacher should provide opportunity to the learners to use all the five senses: logical thinking, creative thinking, as well as to develop and express their feelings. Consequently, the assessment should be based on learning taking place through all the five senses: logical thinking, imaginations, and the feeling. The teacher may use oral, written, and performance modes to assess child's learning. He or she will need to sometimes assess each child individually, but at other time assess groups or assess the whole class together. The teacher should not overemphasize any one form of assessment, be it written or oral or activity based. Such diverse and balanced assessment makes assessment comprehensive. Let us take examples of the theme food. The comprehensive assessment can include the following: 1 number, group discussion on food consumed by animals. Match the food items with its taste. Identify the food items through smell only. Identify fruits and vegetables by touch only. Hear the kind of sounds made while eating different food items, that is crisp or soft. 6 number, arranging food items in a plate that look pleasing to the eyes. 7th, trying out variation in making curd from milk. 8, name a food item that you enjoying eating from your own lunchbox and another one from your friend's lunchbox. 9th, list the food item enjoyed by your friend and family members. In keeping with the right of children to Free and Compulsory Education Act RT 2009, CCE means student will be evaluated on a round the year basis instead of being tested in through a year end only exam, giving every child an opportunity to experience success and enjoying learning. Look for variety of abilities that a child is good at, and also help the child by supporting him or her to fill the gaps in learning through many and varied informal assessment. Look us Let us look at the following examples. A teacher is correcting a student's written response about a bird's behavior. The same teacher is now listening to a conversation between two students where one of them is described the birds that he observed at his uncle's farm. The above example illustrate different types of assessment being used by teacher, formal and informal, respectively. Planned assessment like oral and written tests generally come under formal assessment. During formal assessment, children are informed that they are being assessed. Informal assessment are carried out in natural, informal setting, and children are generally not told that they are being assessed. Observing children in the class playground during a visit, looking for noticeable behavior of children and recording it are some type of informal assessment. Both formal and informal assessment help teacher to understand the student's progress irrespective of the types of assessment. It is important for the teacher to be aware of the EVS objectives and values underlying the process of assessment. Let us consider two examples assessment based on the EVS objective of realizing the close connection between all living creatures. This also relates to the values of being sensitive towards different living beings. One number, a teacher was on an outdoor visit with her students. A week before that, she or he in her class or his class had discussed about role played by insect in nature. During the visit, he or she saw a boy of her or his class smashing a bee. She talked to him and found that he was scared of bees. She once again reminded him of how bees help in pollination. Later, she also organized drama in the class to give a message that all living beings have a right to live just as we do. This time assessment provided the agency feedback to teacher about a gap in the boy's learning. This is an example of formative assessment. The teacher takes immediate remedial action for removing obstacle in learning. Formative assessment thus helps the teacher diagnose impediments to learning and helps the teacher take a corrective action then and there. Second point, this instant is about a chapter in test in an EVS class. The teacher asked a question written to understand how well the student have understood the close relationship between humans, plants, insects, and other animals. Besides the written test, the teacher also organized group discussion which helped her in summative assessment. This assessment of student performance at the end of teaching the EVS theme of our family and friends helped the teacher to know exactly the number and names of students who lacked the understanding of this important EVS concept, attitude and values. This summative assessment helped the teacher to diagnose major gaps in the student knowledge and understanding. The teacher found that out of 40 students, while all have understood the importance of close relation among the family members, 14 have not been able to 10. Relation between humans and other creatures. On realizing this, the teacher arranged a talk by a nature enthusiast for her students. That's all the assignment of the question number 1 of assignment 30 कोर्स 505। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे इस वीडियो को देखने के लिए। अपने मित्रों को भी शेयर करें दोस्तों, लाइक करें हमारे वीडियो को, कमेंट करें और शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब अपने मित्रों को भी करने के लिए कहें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।